When was the last time we recorded? March?
April.
What was it, April? I knew we dropped in April.
Maybe it was the end of March, and then we dropped. No. It was March because then we had April Fool's Day.
That's right.
Oh, Kurt's April Fool's joke.
Legendary.
Had me.
What flavor
Yep.
are these?
I had Alton too,
Yeah. You certainly did.
and of course, in true Alton form,
What did he do?
he's not
very
like
compassionate.
he's not like, come on, man, no, you can't do that. Like, why are you going to do that? We can't do this without you. He's like, I completely understand and respect your decision. It's like,
It's like all of a sudden I'm kicked out.
no, I know, right? I'm like, wait, this isn't working.
I take it back.
Really? You got to do what you got to do.
The best part though was I sent that message out, and like 3 seconds later, Derek responds. He's like, bait, hook, and waiting.
No, I took it full.
I did too.
You want to try this?
It's like, hang on a minute.
I was waiting for Alton to come back with like recommendations for replacement.
Yeah, no, that was another text.
Audition.
That's one of these guys.
Nice. Not that I'm paranoid enough already. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Boys, the podcast where guys get together to talk about, well, bourbon, about life, lore, and libation, and everything that comes with being a dad. We aren't bourbon snobs. I think we're getting there, though.
I think so.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
I think
Some
they see
of
the
us.
line.
Yeah.
It's a
Some
little-
of us.
it's behind
Some of
us.
us.
Just a
Like
group
Dave's
of guys.
dressing up for the podcast now. That's snobbery right there.
Yeah, pants are
He's
a good
got his
start.
shirt tucked
Yeah,
in, for God's
yeah.
sakes.
You know, I feel fat with it out tucked in. So.
We're just a group of guys.
You know
who
you're
like
the same
bourbon.
whether it's tucked in or not, right?
No, no.
Okay, just checking.
Oh,
It's all
man.
optics.
All right, it's pretty simple. This is podcast 31. I'm Dew, your host, and here with me are the Bourbon Boys. We got Altoon,
Hey.
Kurt Ron,
Hey there.
and Kratt's back.
Hello.
Kratt's back.
And tonight we have 3 bourbons. I don't think we've talked about any of these before. We've chatted about them, but we're here at the table. So we're gonna have the Wiseman. Love it. It's a cool looking bottle. We have.
I don't think we're doing this. Are we doing this one?
We know.
We're doing these 3.
Okay, we can do that. We've got a Blue Note Crossroads, which is their straight bourbon in a toasted French oak.
Hold on, oui.
Boy. And then Heaven's Door, the cask strength.
Very
So
nice.
this one's coming in hot, about 113.
Ooh, all right.
So,
Why are we talking about these tonight?
well, I know why I'm talking about this one, Heaven's Door. I brought Blue Note to round out the 3.
As a musical theme?
No.
No, but that could have been.
I thought
'Cause,
that's what it was.
Dave, too, doesn't read the text.
Isn't the maybe the what were the Wiseman like a 50s?
Could have been a 50s band
boy
called
band?
the Wiseman.
Well, they were the one that wrote
So we can make this whatever.
frankincense and myrrh.
We can make this whatever you
They wrote
want.
that one.
That's the Christmas bourbon.
Great Christmas Carol.
We're way too early for
So
that one.
we can make this whatever you want.
Okay.
What would you make it, Kurt?
Yeah, what's the theme?
I actually read the note. I just want to see how you get there.
I could have sworn it was music. That's why we had.
No. This was.
That was a different text stream there, big fella.
Yeah. Different
Must
thread.
be.
You're behind.
Maybe that's the other podcast you do without me.
Oh, shit.
Busted.
Like we could actually pull a second one of these off.
We can barely get this
Right. Exactly.
Long recovery period in between.
So where we were going, but we can go to the music theme because I think that works. But and I'll let you guys lead on that. The whole idea was in not in memoriam, but to remember those that we've lost, right?
Yep.
So this idea of the crossroads, which is like we go from one place to another, Heaven's Door, which is where we all hopefully get. But
I got the key
some have the key, some don't.
from Blade and Bow.
Jury's
And the
still
idea
out.
that it takes a wise man to know. So
Well played.
Well,
All right. Last call.
I'm happy to do last call.
I'm gonna have a pour while you guys were talking this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. So
I like
let's,
it.
But we can also tie a music theme to this one as well.
What have you got for proof on that one?
This is an 84. Hold on a second.
This is 100. This is 113. So we'll do this one last.
Yeah.
So we can taste the two in front.
Well,
of
we can start with Wiseman then. This is a 90 proof, so just under 91. So there is an interesting story, and I'm not going to go deep on it because every time I do, you guys rip on me. So I am going to just tell you kind of the highlights of this one, but it might be an interesting story for us to dig into.
Go for it.
So Wiseman, it's actually a partnership between Kentucky Owl and Bardstown Distillery. And so Kentucky Owl looks this. So I'm going to talk to this because I did a little digging and I didn't find more than what I found. So the Kentucky Owl was actually founded back in 1879. But like many, when Prohibition came into being, at that point, then everything was seized. So there's about 250,000 gallons of Kentucky Owl that was taken away for safekeeping. So unfortunately, shortly thereafter, there was a huge fire where their warehouse completely burned down. But it was a very short fire, so there was speculation that somebody actually grabbed all of the liquid before the actual fire took place, and that it was fed into the idea or organized crime to fuel their booming speakeasies. So this is just a story that's being told. But many, many years later, about 100 years, the great-grandson of C.M. Dedman revived the family business. And Kentucky Owl now exists in Kentucky. And it's been around now since probably early 2010, 2011. And they actually produced their first whiskey under the Kentucky Owl name since in 2017. So they have 3 different Kentucky Owls, I believe. But what they did actually is they created this Wiseman in partnership with Bardstown. You guys are all familiar with Bardstown. So with the new Wiseman, they are talking about it being the next stage of the Kentucky Owl story, and here's why. So an average price of Kentucky Owl is $125 and up.
Yeah.
Have you had any?
No.
I have another.
It is good.
You try it?
I had a pour, yep.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
This bottle retails around $60. I think I paid a little less for it where I got it from, but so I'm curious to try it because they talk a little bit about it. So again, it's the distillery is Kentucky Owl. They are actually in Bardstown, Kentucky, so thus maybe the partnership and bringing this one together. Like I said, it's a 90 proof, and it is a combination of a blend of Kentucky Owl 4-year-old wheat and a high rye bourbon, along with 5.5-year and 8.5-year-old Kentucky sourced bourbons. So it's a blend, but there is some original 4.5-year Kentucky Owl actually combined into it.
And what was the price again?
$60.
Wow, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what you guys think.
I like it.
It's very smooth.
Mm-hmm. So we said it was 80 something proof.
90.
It's 90.8.
90.8.
90.8. So what do you guys think of the... Well, first of all, what do you get on the nose? I love it. You say that and everybody like...
Yeah. Butter. I've been just drinking it. Yeah. How long have we been doing this?
Yeah, right, exactly. You should be doing that.
I get like buttery toffee.
I get like a light
Custard.
grass.
You get grass. Okay.
Be smoking grass. Custard. I'm definitely getting a custard.
Custard.
Yeah.
Change glasses with me.
I take...
There you go.
Oh, those glasses. Sorry. Yeah. So the toffee is actually pretty dead on. They do talk a little bit about that. Caramel. Obviously, I like caramel.
Okay.
They do describe the finish as very short. I don't know if you guys are getting the same thing.
Yeah, a little short.
However, they say it's not actually a bad finish. It's a pretty good finish.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's funny because for me, it's short on the as you take it in.
Yeah.
It's not a big tape of flavor splash on your tongue, but as you finish it, it's not. I don't think it's too short of a finish. It's there, but it's interesting that it's so light on the front end.
Yeah.
Kind of a leather taste a little bit.
I get that after. Yeah.
Super smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It is really
I like
smooth.
Yeah. A little oily.
Really.
You getting oil?
A little
Oil?
oily.
All right.
Well, I think you're talking about like almost like the texture
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I would agree. I get the same that which I think leans into the smoothness of
Yeah.
it.
It's not excessive, but it.
Right.
Yeah.
They do talk a little bit about allspice, citrus notes, and caramel. So,
I get those on the finish. I definitely on the allspice, baking spice. I like it. It's good. Where'd you find this?
ABC.
Wow.
Our ABCs?
RABC.
Wow.
Right in Cornelius.
Nice find, Kurt.
That's a nice find.
Yeah. No, I was listen, I didn't know what it was going to be like, but I figured it had Bardstown associated with it, and
Yeah.
so I figured it had to be pretty good, as well as with Kentucky Owl. So
Okay, question. This is a blend, right?
Yep.
I thought when they included a decimal in the proof, that was typically from a cask strength or a barrel
Right.
strength.
Right.
In this case, it is 90.8. It's
Handwritten or
no, it's
No, it's printed.
printed.
So, do you think that has anything to do with where the blends are coming from? So, they have a blend of Kentucky Owl 4-year-old wheat
Mm-hmm.
you're saying
and
that-
high rye bourbons.
So if you know going in what the blend is and the percentage of the blend, is that how you get the decimal?
Possibly, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question, which is why we're not snobs yet. Because if we were, we would know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Man.
Keep going.
So anyway, it's interesting. Like you guys have heard, I've never heard of Kentucky Owl. So
I was with a guy. Yeah, it's a
It's like a top shelf,
Yeah.
tall bottle.
yeah,
We
yeah.
I think on one of someone was on a road trip and sent Kentucky Owl, and it was too steep for any of us.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen
We're
it.
like,
I've seen it. Like I
it's
said,
accessible.
it is
Yeah.
top shelf. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is good. I did have a chance to
Well,
try it.
and they do talk about the accessibility piece to it, and that's this whole idea. When they say this is kind of a new stage 4 or like a next stage for Kentucky Owl,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, Kentucky Owl is on the bottle, but it's not super prominent. So, but neither is Bardstown, right? And so this is considered part of the Kentucky Owl lineup of product. So it's on their website.
Okay, it's cool.
But because the price point is down to that $60 range, suddenly now it becomes a little bit more accessible to more people. But yeah, again, their average price is, I think, $125 and up on a bottle for the Kentucky Owl.
Curious to know if they're using this to get people to step up to Kentucky Owl.
Possibly.
If they're like, because we have plenty of bourbon,
Yeah.
and none of us have gone out and pulled the trigger on a Kentucky Owl bottle.
Yeah. I would assume they're just accessing a different market. I don't know, with the association of Kentucky Owl with this, if that would be. I mean, it's still a big jump. That's 2x the price.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
it's
more.
still a
But
fair.
a good question, though. Is like,
Yeah.
What's it like Buffalo to Weller? Where you're like,
Yeah.
same family.
Yeah. Maybe
And
so.
accessibility is such a challenge, though. I mean, one thing if they were like sitting right next to each other and you could, make that decision that one was a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But here's the opening price point version I'm going to jump in on. But unfortunately, we don't have that level of selection where we're living. So, but
This
I do
is a
like
good
it.
one, though. I mean, again, if somebody is like, I really want to like bourbon, but I don't want anything harsh or the burns or whatever.
Agree.
This one's good, especially if you
smooth.
threw it over ice. Let the ice settle for a few minutes on this. This would be like,
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
if you were just starting with bourbon, you don't have like a really strong, manly ability to drink bourbon.
If you were a beginner, Kurt,
Yes, if you've only been on one bourbon tour,
I just want to remind you all who drinks their bourbon over ice. Okay.
Pappy,
Happy.
Yeah.
good lemon.
Pappy.
I have to admit, in this heat, I've been drinking my bourbon over ice curve. So
I've been drinking my bourbon over ice with Mike's Hard Lemonade. So yeah,
I do want to try that.
it's good.
Does anyone just keep their bourbon in the fridge?
No.
Yes. Yes.
All right, good.
Keep a mixer bottle in there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why the hell not?
Just start it cold. Sure beats waiting in the checkout line for 7 minutes.
25 times faster than a refrigerator.
But it's so small. All right, I like it.
All right, good start.
Yeah, very good.
I
start.
like it.
Very good.
Can add that to collection.
And there is a band called the Wiseman.
Oh.
Not men, but the Wise Man. So we could go with the theme either way tonight.
We can cut this either way. It's all in the edit.
That's right.
All right, let's run with it.
Digging it.
All right.
All right, next up. Should we stop for a commercial break?
Sure, let's stop for a commercial
right.
break.
This episode brought to you by
back.
Dots Pretzels.
Dots.
Please send us a bag.
And we're back. I got this blue note from Sarah on
cool.
one of her trips. Yeah.
They've been actively rolling out. So I follow them on Instagram, and I see a lot of
They're getting a lot of press.
press. But they've got multiple new labels coming out, or just not on top of each other, but kind of sequenced out. So must be doing well.
I'd like to
can't
believe
remember.
that's because of us.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100%.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I had a buddy. Greg was. Where was he at? He was in Germantown the other day for business. He texted me. He's like, "They got Blue Note."
Get it.
I'm like, "Let me know."
I was at a restaurant somewhere and they had Blue Note on the menu.
Really?
Yeah.
So good for
Where
them.
were you?
I can't remember.
Not in North Carolina?
No, I think it was
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Oh wow.
So it's in North Carolina now?
Well, at this particular restaurant it was.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't think it was Epic. I don't know, but it was. I was very surprised to see it there.
Okay, so this is their Crossroads straight bourbon whiskey. What was the other one we had? It's like a premium bourbon, the tall bottle, tall.
The
thing?
14 year?
Can't remember. Was that what
Yeah,
it was?
I think so.
Okay.
I think
Juke
because we were
Joy
like,
is
wait a
just
minute.
Juke Joy is just a whiskey. It's not a bourbon, right?
That is a whiskey.
Yeah.
Yep. And Riverset is the rye.
Riverset's a rye.
This one, just in the collection, when Sarah said, I got a blue note and it's Crossroads, I think that was one of their finishes that they're doing. It's still a bourbon, right?
So we have
Check my
we have
math.
not tried this one.
We have not.
Okay.
Nope. Very little research. on
Actually, I
this one, too.
remember him talking about this.
Oh, this one? Crossroads?
I remember him talking about this one when we were interviewing him.
That's part of the Clapton collection.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah, you lost me on that one.
Yeah. So for those of you following from early episodes, based in Memphis, started off as a bourbon and probably whiskey broker. Got to know a few folks. Macaulay took a leap, got some investors, started banging out really good whiskey, good bourbon, great rye. And as Alton was saying, the label continues to expand. So tonight we're going to drink Blue Note Crossroads straight bourbon whiskey, finished with toasted French oak. This is coming in at 100 proof, but not considered bottled and bond. Probably still based on the fact that they're probably sourcing from other places, but I don't want to go there.
Potentially,
The
yeah.
warehouse isn't government bonded yet. But.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you get? What's on the nose?
My nose is not working right now.
Yeah, like a real faint vanilla, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot.
Yeah.
Something sweet.
It definitely has a sweet sense to the nose for me.
It's almost like marshmallows in the distance.
Marshmallows in the distance. I love
Versus
it.
marshmallows up close.
With
Does
a
it smell
wee
different?
bit of Parmesan.
Does it smell marshmallows?
Actually, you know what? That's really weird because I'm getting it now too. It's the burned marshmallow.
It's burnt marshmallow. Okay,
marshmallow.
all right. See?
Absolutely, burned marshmallow.
I don't know exactly what it is. For me, the sweet. I am getting sweetness. I
Yeah.
just can't put my finger on what.
It's really good.
Okay.
Are you getting torched sugar?
AKA burnt marshmallow.
Well, that would be burnt
Let me
marshmallows.
repeat myself.
So,
I
In a
like your
distance.
description.
Yeah, from
well,
a
let's
distance.
say from a distance.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's the
Burnt marshmallows.
campsite next to us.
Time
Just-
to ensure Alton's nose.
I love it. Yeah, they say it's a vanilla bean, custard, honey, torched sugar with a slight touch of cinnamon finish.
I do get the cinnamon on the finish. It's a lingering.
Yeah.
I only say that now because you said it.
See? It's so suggestive.
Really good. It's really good. I like it. I like it. It's honestly, it's a little bit similar to what we had, but with a little bit more of a oomph at the end.
Yeah, a little longer finish on that. A little cinnamony finish. Now, what was the price on this one? Price point on?
I want to say that's in that 50 to 60 range.
Okay.
Still. Yeah. I know Juke Joint was in the 35 range when we first did it. So that's a good place to be in. Probably Riverset's about that.
It's much more expensive once you allocate Sarah.
Yeah. She's got a handling fee.
There's a little bit of that.
It's worth it. It's worth it. But this is a good one. This is, I mean, we're 4 for 4 now with these guys and really good taste. Again, if you can find it, not around us.
Yeah, I would say for the price point, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be fun, and I think it's strong enough. This will be fun to play with around as a mixer as well, as a base for a old-fashioned or a paper plane or something. I think this was have a kind of distinct standing flavor rather than just getting consumed by the mixers.
Yeah. I think for the 100 proof, I think the finish is a little less intense than maybe Wiseman for me.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit the other way for me.
Yeah, it's the other way around for me. But yeah.
Say that again.
My finish is very, very smooth. Not terribly long. It's not a short finish, but it's not a long finish. But it doesn't turn into a bite.
No.
Or a burn that I was getting from Wiseman.
Really?
Yeah. Could be my tongue is numb. I don't know.
Finished with toasted French oak.
Oui.
Toasted what oak?
French oak.
It is a French.
Oh, French oak. Okay.
French.
I thought
Like the mustard.
I thought you were saying fridge.
I understood that.
Toasted French oak.
Language.
It's Southern for French.
It is a French barrel. It is a toasted oak.
But it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So Crossroads. Are we at Crossroads?
I don't know. Are we?
I think so. I think transition.
Yeah.
Transition of the guard or transition of...
Oh, God, are we going there? Fuck.
Say more.
I don't know. It's the maybe it's the midpoint. Maybe it's that you're at the crossroads.
Halftime.
No.
The crossroads of what?
Life. Halftime. Intermission.
Intermission.
Liminal
space.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. We went deep. He went there.
No, don't give me an
back to
God. That's a
liminal.
great name. That would be a great distillery, I'm telling you.
It's interesting. I think, I don't know if you guys have had these moments, but I have, where it's like you're growing up and you're thinking about where you are in life, and you can remember where you were when your dad was at that same place.
Yeah.
And I say dad because it's just, again, just kind of the more relatable thing for me,
Yep.
whether it's like I'm out of college, I'm looking for a job. And now we're like at that place where I'm looking at my oldest daughter, and thinking about where I was.
She's looking at you like you were your dad.
And so it's like at one point you're looking kind of up, and now I'm looking down.
Yeah.
And it's a little fucking scary.
Very scary.
Well,
So
I'm glad you mentioned that. I had a conversation with my dad a couple weeks ago when they were in for graduation, and I said, "So I'm going to be 52, but when I remember you at 52, or my grandfather at 52, I don't feel like I'm." And then I said, "Now you at 72, I don't picture you like my grandfather at 72." So I don't know if we're all just getting younger with age.
that's a good point, because like there's 30 years between me and my dad,
Yeah.
and there's 30 years between me and Mills.
Yeah.
And
Right. So you're in that perfectly in the middle of it.
Yeah, and like when I'm seeing,
liminal space.
when,
It could
when,
be.
it could be. When I see my dad, to your point, Derek, I don't see him like I saw my grandfather. Like my grandfather
that
was
age.
way older than,
Always.
than what my dad is,
Right?
but they were the same age.
Yeah. Yeah.
The older we get, the younger they get.
Yeah.
It's a strange effect.
Yeah.
But I remember my grandfather permanently old. And when you do the math and you kind of rewind it, and you're like, no, he was only in his 50s.
I haven't done that.
So
wow.
here, we'll come back to you, Alton.
We get the guys in the Google truck working on this one.
I'm not going to the Google truck tonight. So here's a question.
Yes.
Does it feel that way for every generation? So your grandfather, did he feel younger than his grandfather or his father and so forth? Or did they all just feel old in the time?
I don't know. I asked the same question. I said, are we hitting the same questions and feelings that you had when you were my age? Yeah, I wonder. And I think life expectancy in our generation has increased. Theirs is shorter, so they were like, well, I'm near the finish line to start with, closer to the finish line. But
I mean, it obviously depends on the person, health, so on and so forth. But attitude is a whole nother thing too.
Yep.
And I joke with the folks that I work with is that they're the ones that are keeping me young, because everybody I work with is, for the most part, I don't know, they're all younger than 32 years old.
Right.
So, which I love, because again, you feel a lot younger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. But I do think where we all are, definitely crossroads.
Which direction will we go?
Now you just keep on going.
Yeah.
Right through it.
Right through.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out.
Tap the brakes just a little bit.
Just tap the brakes. Do a Carolina roll and stop.
Quick left, quick right.
I'm trying to slow down and see where the shade is. I'm going that way.
Where the shade is. So Alton.
Tell me more.
Shade equals relaxation.
Gotcha.
Lingering in the shade.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm tapping the brakes to see where that's at.
it's good.
Yeah.
Never hurts.
Never hurts.
So, Kurt, there's another word that is competing with liminal,
Oh boy.
and it's off of a boat that Carson's girlfriend's father has.
The masturbator.
It's got no.
It's spelled Baiter.
I do like that one.
Just checking.
But no, it's not that one.
Okay.
It's called caesura, Caesura, and it means a pause in the middle.
It's liminal.
And I was like, that's
Well-
another thing.
It's different, but similar.
It is. But here's someone who named their boat that because it was when he hit 50, he was like, my goal is to have this marker, to be at this point. And for him, it was like, this is the pause in the middle. Like, I'm going to do something that's,
That's cool.
that's interesting. It's fun. It's different. And I was like, that's
cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Caesura.
That's cool.
I may not be pronouncing it correctly, but that's how it's phonetically shaped.
I don't see it on a building though. Like liminal distillery, I can see.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
How will you know when it's done? Because we're always just waiting,
That's the whole point.
right? We don't know. Maybe
It's a mystery, right? Bourbon's a
How old
mystery.
is this one? I really don't know.
Exactly.
No one wrote it down.
That's right.
This is our infinity collection.
It just never goes away.
It's never done.
No.
Which I figured out.
I know you guys laugh.
I don't need an infinity bottle, by the way. I just keep draining
tried
them. I just keep draining them. My infinity bottle has not grown at all. So.
I did pour like one more in there, just like a half a glass, and I had that same feeling. I was like, I would like this to grow,
Yeah. Feels unnecessary.
but I could just finish it.
It just feels unnecessary.
All right, thoughts on this, or thoughts on your crossroad?
I don't know. I mean, tell me what crossroads means. Because is it the same for everybody or is it different?
I always, when someone says crossroads, either Clapton comes into my head, and I'm not really sure the intent of the song. I haven't gone into the lyrics, the meaning.
Yeah.
But for me, it's always been, that is a moment where a decision has to be made. It's a left or a right, or forward or back. Maybe just left or right. It's always forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires like looking as far down that path as you can to figure out if it's the right way to go. To me, it's always been a decision point. Big decision.
Yeah.
Agree. What was the Tom Hanks movie? He was on an island with
Toy Story?
Wilson. with
Castaway?
Wilson. Castaway. There's an awesome crossroads moment in that movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
When he climbs to the...
No.
When he's actually at the crossroads.
Literally at a crossroads. And he's looking one way and he's looking the
Out
other
in the
way.
middle.
On this island?
No, this is when he
he's
gets
not.
back from the island.
I'm like, and
he's-
different
There's a lot of
version.
traffic.
I think he's trying to find his wife.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
no. He'd already found his wife.
Oh.
And she was,
Oh, yeah. Her life had moved on.
her life had moved on, but this was the hot woman in the pickup truck. Anyways, but it was very much of a crossroads moment where he had to make a decision on which way he was going to go. And he went the right way.
Good. Well, there's also
Hot
the-
lady with the pickup truck.
Yeah, that's usually a good starting point.
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
And there's also the Yogi Bear philosophy. What is it? When you come to the fork in the road, take it. Like, you'll end up where you need to be.
Well, that was going to be my question, right? You're saying look as far down the crossroad, like down the path as you can, or is it just about going with where you think you need to go and believing in that it'll take you to the place that you need to be?
I think as I get older, I'm more likely to trust my instincts than perhaps when I was younger. I think my instincts are calibrated pretty well now, but I don't think I could have done that without a lot more practice. So my instinct is to plan and to see how this plays out, to anticipate the ending. But as I get older, I'm more likely to check my gut, do a little investigation, then probably come back to the gut.
So what if we did that when we were younger?
Went with gut first.
Well, not tried to plan it so much, right? I mean, I think that's part of the challenge today. I think with so many young people, they want to plan everything. So,
Yeah.
I didn't plan anything.
well, we're not talking about you.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
We are now.
Deflect.
I mean, I think it just depends on, I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's got different personalities. Everybody's got different, ways they were raised. My dad, literally for Christmas, every year we give him a pack of 100 yellow legal pads because his entire life, literally, if you went back probably from when he was in college, he had a yellow legal pad, and everything is on those things. Like
That's wild.
plans of buildings he was building, lists of things he needed to go to the grocery store on, recipes, anything. It's all mapped out in yellow legal pads. Even to the point where it was like, oh, Daru, you got a big project coming up. Let's sit down. Let's all right, left-hand sides are pros, right-hand sides are cons. Let's map it all out. And so probably as a result of that, I was like, fuck the legal pad.
Yeah.
I don't want that structure in my life,
Yeah.
which is probably why I'm not a planner. But again, I just think it's everybody's environments are different.
Yeah.
There's security in planning for a lot of people, and so not having that growing up, the planning is a blanket, right? That helps them feel better.
Yeah.
For others, it's just like I don't want that limitation or that structure to kind of control me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But for me, I think a lot of it was because my dad was so much of a planner.
You saw it.
Yeah, I'm
right?
just like that's too confining for me. But there is certainly a level of planning that I have to do in order to be successful at work, successful at home, but I try not to let it get too, heavy.
That's pretty cool. Where's he keep all the pads?
He throws them away.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
But
Good. I was going to say, man, you got a lot of pads to deal with at some point. So I guess the other thing at this point in life, the crossroads construct, is it even real? I mean, do you guys feel like you get to a crossroads and you pick in that case, in a true crossroads 1 of 3 paths, and you can't double back, or there's significant? I mean, that's super rare. Realize you can go a quarter mile down the road and turn around.
Yeah.
Or
rerouting.
Reroutes. Like it's not which I think similar, to the influence like your dad with that structure. I've talked about it before. My parents were like, "Hey, you get a job and you work your ass off, and you'll get promoted there, and in 30 years you'll get a pension, you'll retire, family will be comfortable, blah blah blah." It's like that's the last thing I'm teaching my kids.
Yeah.
So because after about 5 years in that model, it's like, oh wow, I changed jobs, and that was easy. And it was fun, and I learned something new. And you know what? 5 years later, I'm like, another opportunity came up. Yeah. So it's like,
was it a crossroads or was it just another
progression?
Something.
Yeah, more like a roundabout.
Yeah, could be.
Hey, you can't get off of it.
Look, kids, Big Ben in Parliament. Yeah.
Look, kids, it's Big Ben.
So that's, again, Crossroads is it's a great visual and a great way to think about things, but it's not really a crossroads from you can't turn back.
Have we made decisions in our lives that are not undoable?
Right.
Well, we're all sitting here at a table in a nice neighborhood, so the answer to that question is no.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So I agree with you, Alan. I mean, I don't know that that it's a terribly realistic thing, right? I mean, I look at all of our careers and what we've done, and a lot of the industries that we've been in, there's no such thing as a crossroads because there's no time for a crossroad.
Yeah.
It's more like a pinball machine. You literally are trying to figure out, all right.
Now my head hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's...
now you know why. Yeah.
But I mean, it is kind of the reality of it. I mean, again, literally, if you think about the environments that we've worked in together, I mean, it has been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no time for a decision. It's gut, Derek, like you talked about. And then to a certain degree, I think a lot of it is just kind of organic momentum. Going with the flow, and in some cases trying not to when you feel that risk or aversion. But I don't think it is a realistic.
Yeah, but I also think that's where the foundations that
the core
the people have your faith beliefs, your family beliefs, the lessons you've learned, the coaching you've got from family and friends. That's where back to trusting your gut. That's really what I think that is trust what you've learned, what you've seen other people that you respect, you do, what are your values, and go. And again, if you need to pivot, there'll be an opportunity to pivot.
I agree.
There'll be another crossroads or a roundabout, so you can turn your tail around and go back. So it's like,
just no cul-de-sacs.
No cul-de-sacs.
Is there a common characteristic to that what you're describing, or what you're describing about either like courage or curiosity, or some balance of both? Like go back to a planner of like, nope, this is not in the plan. Stick to the plan.
Well, I think it's interesting now that you're talking about that. So I guess when I think about the visual, it's not a crossroads. It's a highway that you're going 70 miles an hour on.
Yeah.
You can choose to turn off. So do you have the curiosity and the courage to turn
to
off?
Explore and see something, yeah.
Or do you say, you know what, this is comfortable. I know this road. I know what it looks like. I know where there's going to be a rest stop in 50 miles. There's going to be a Chick-fil-A, whatever. Or if I turn here, there may be something really cool at the end. So,
I agree with that. I do think, though, that like curiosity without courage is kind of a dangerous equation. The two of them, I think, together can help you get to some interesting places, but without the courage, I think the curiosity can get you to a bad place if you're not careful. So
that's cool.
Say more about that.
Kurt, it may get back to some of the things we talked about in terms of like the planning and the structure, where again, if you just kind of go willy-nilly and randomly where it might feel good without necessarily the courage to either take that exit ramp like Alton was talking about, it's a little bit like a boat in the storm without an anchor, right? I mean, I think you can run into a situation where that momentum that I mentioned earlier, that organic momentum, may take you to a bad place. And so the values, like Alton mentioned, that I think is tied to that courage to be able to say, all right, this is not the right direction. I'm gonna veer off in this direction instead. And so without that courage, I think you just run the risk of kind of, again, being that ship in the middle of a storm and just going wherever it's going to push you, which sometimes can lead you to a dangerous place. So, how about we pour another glass of bourbon?
Let's do it.
that.
I'm down with
Kurtron's, you're awful quiet.
I'm listening.
What's your world
I'm
of?
just taking it in.
What's your perspective
you guys are being
on
so
Crossroads?
philosophical today.
All philosophical.
I want to know what a crossroads in Wisconsin looks like.
I'm usually the one. We don't have them. They're just one straight road.
Yeah, most of them have an old style sign on
That's
the corner.
right, exactly. Or hams.
Or hams. Are we drinking them? Bob Dylan.
No, I sent this thing actually to Liz today. I came across this. It says, curiosity is a compass that leads us to our passions. Follow it, and you won't be disappointed. The future belongs to the curious.
Very cool.
I like that.
Thanks for not sharing that with the rest of us.
Well, I can't share everything at the same time. So I do think courage is part of it. I think there's a vulnerability to it as well, because I think curiosity is about going somewhere where you're not really sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the right choice.
True.
Because if it's too calculated, then curiosity really isn't
Right.
the thing.
Yeah. Yep.
When you said curiosity, and you were talking about curiosity and courage, and how like that's a combination. Thinking back to Drew starting a new job, leaving a job that he knew, to start a new job that he didn't know, and it was such a cool thing to see someone that young go, I have no idea, but I'm really curious.
Yeah.
And you go, shit, to have the courage at that age, to say, I'm making this move, feeling pretty good about it, high on the curiosity, just enough courage to pull it off.
Yeah. It's and I don't know if everybody his age is that way. He's definitely an old soul, which I think helps with that. But I think, and again, I love that quote, Kurt. There is that.
I'll share it.
You want to read it again?
Share it with everybody, please.
You want me to read it again?
Put in the show notes.
Do you want me to read it with a French accent?
Well, yes,
If you could, that'd be.
Curiosity is a compass that leads us to our passions. Follow it, and you won't be disappointed. The future belongs to the curious.
So one of the things we talked about when we first started hanging out, we were all at transitional points of our lives with our kids, with our jobs, etc.
Was Kurt there?
No.
I'm going to pretend you were, Kurt, because you would fit perfectly in this conversation.
there.
You would. In context, you were there.
But when you talk about this, that's one thing that selfishly I lean on you guys for is when I'm exploring my curiosities or thinking about things, you guys are great sounding boards.
Yeah.
Whether we do it over bourbon or through text or, at dinner or whatever. Yep. But, again, back to this notion that people, guys in particular, often try to figure all this crap out themselves. That's the, an invaluable, resource you have if you got somebody that you can just like, hey, somebody you trust, somebody's got similar values.
Yep.
Always back to it. It's like, I'm thinking about this or this is on my mind. And somebody say, that's great. What are you waiting on?
Yeah.
Or it's like, hey, you might want to think about that in this lens.
And I think that ties back into what Kurt was saying about vulnerability too, and curiosity, and being able to open up and talk. So, trust thing is important for sure.
Feelings. We're back to I really have 3 Fs, 4 Fs. Fucking hey. It's funny you should say.
It's the 4 Ls, by the way.
Lynn Ledwith, her husband he calls them his personal board of advisors.
Yeah.
And it's his close circle of diverse guys, and they get together and they're all on each other's board.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And they run big ideas, little ideas by them, and they do like a weekend a year where they go off and they're each other's board. And I was like,
do a presentation.
That's really
that's pretty
no
cool.
PowerPoint.
As long as they don't discuss like health problems or things like that.
I got this rash. Have you guys had anything like this?
Yes. So one of you is a doctor.
Listen, we're all getting there. Believe me.
No, not with the rashes.
We're all getting there.
Stay away from that.
This is interesting.
I like that idea. So maybe we need a Bourbon Boys board.
Just might be. All right. So now we've poured Heaven's Door. This is a Bob Dylan project.
He's a bourbon.
Heavily involved. Tonight we're drinking a single barrel Heaven's Door cask strength. This is coming in at 112.8.
I get hot.
It is hot. Mash bill, 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malt, right on the side of the label. Distilled in Indiana, but he's pulling from a few different places.
Woo.
And the artwork on the front is apparently he is into welding and art.
I was say metalwork.
Yeah. So this is.
Yeah, I feel like I'm breathing a little fire from that metalwork right now.
This is one of the gates at his Iron Studio. Mm-hmm. Black Iron Studio, I think is what it's called.
That's pretty. Okay, go ahead.
Not red iron, but black iron.
Yeah.
Almost a gratuitous plug there, but okay. This is my flavor of bourbon right here.
Hot.
It's hot, but it's got sweet.
It's got an interesting,
very
like
sweet.
I'm getting a peaty wheat kind of barn taste.
You getting hay?
I'm getting hay. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm getting. I'm getting hay.
Like
I'm just thinking about
hay?
I'm thinking about those who do real podcasts about bourbon and listening to us, and they're like a peaty
for
wheat
crying out loud.
barn kind of taste.
What the hell is this Parmesan they keep referencing?
So they're not snobs.
But are you guys not? Are y'all not tasting some kind of like hay?
No, I get like a real vanilla.
I mean,
Like very, very
listen,
sweet.
I totally get where you're. It's no different than the grass and the other stuff. It's like, and leather. Like, how do we know what that shit tastes like? It's like we're just
You're not eating grass.
no.
Oh, it's good.
Or is it just the association of smell with the idea of taste?
I think that's what
my,
it is.
That's
what
my
it is.
thing.
The leather thing is that completely. I've never like chewed on a lot of leather. Maybe I'm
So I actually like on the nose. I get like a fruit, like a
apricot.
deep. No, it's more like a not strawberry, but like
There is no such
a
thing.
berry.
So you got a berry.
on the nose.
Really?
Get a
The,
little orange. You get
the-
some citrus.
The tasting notes are on nose. You could get baked bread, dried fruit, buttered popcorn with a smooth lasting
There's dried
taste of
cherries.
caramel.
And how about that?
Okay. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and the palate:
popcorn.
honey, light maple, pumpernickel,
Oh, pumpernickel.
right? White peppercorn and baking spices.
Pfeffer.
I get nothing but like cinnamon on the taste.
Yeah,
This is
What
yeah.
is
This is heavy for me.
it does feel very thick.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
I get like
And the
that
finish
sweet.
the finish sits for a very long time for me.
Yeah.
The spice and the heat I like, but there's something. I mean, it's back to that hay kind of thing that I'm not really.
Yeah,
I'm not digging. But
Are you saying it tastes like a wheat almost?
no, well, maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't not like it. I do like
Yeah.
it. It's just very different than
I love the bottle.
Bottle's very cool.
Yeah.
I bought a few of these this year as friends' dads had passed away. This was been my token
well played.
cool. Nice.
to send them a bottle of this and raise a glass. So I think it was a tough year for everybody. In November, we lost Deb's dad, and went right out that day and picked one of this up, and this is what we had that night.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's
to,
a great
to
idea.
me, it is something where you go. It's of all the bourbons out there, this is to me this was the one that you could keep on the shelf and you could take it off each year,
Yeah.
or at a birthday or something, and remember them with a glass. So
Okay. Well, don't ever give me a bottle of this.
because you're not going to keep it for a year.
No, it'd be like, okay, it's your time.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to decide.
It's like the black cat showing up in my bedroom at the nursing home.
What I'm trying to decide is, do I want you guys drinking this at my funeral, or do I have a different request?
No, we're going to be live.
Like Ezra Brooks.
Do we
No.
need to
We're
talk
just going
about
to pour
that?
that on the ground.
No, we're going to be along your bedside drinking this with you
On the way out.
on the way out.
Here's the key.
Here's
Alton all are to be dead. So
Here's the key. No, but my godmother just died, and I'm like, would that not have been great to like send a bottle of this in a bouquet of flowers?
Yes, you still can.
No.
So who
It's over.
actually wrote? I mean, I'm back to the music thing again. I'm sorry, but "Knocking on Heaven's Door." Who was it? Clapton first, Dylan first. It certainly was not GNR.
What?
I think it was. I'm going to go with Dylan wrote it all, and then everyone just
I'll be right back.
riffed off of it.
You said the
truck?
Google code was closed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kurt
Due to
Trump
rain.
put himself back in the truck. The alphabet truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably. I mean, Dylan and Clapton were probably close in age. Maybe Dylan's older.
I think
I
so.
would think so.
Yeah.
Certainly looks older.
Yeah,
For what that's worth.
but he still looks better than
Still
Axl
going.
Rose.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we pretty much know that's not where it started, right?
Yeah.
Hell of a rendition, but
Yeah.
The falsetto. I almost went there, but back to curiosity and lack of courage. Yeah, that was me right
The
there.
yeah,
ants.
stay on the highway.
Okay, I'm back from the Google truck.
Oh, already?
It was Bob Dylan.
Well, that's Dylan. Okay.
Can you
Make-
ask the truck one more question? What did he just recently sell his music library for?
A lot.
JT
That's a
sold us
weird-
for $100.
Do you know the answer to this question?
Weird trend. Such a strange trend.
Do you know the answer?
right now?
They're like, we'll take it right
I
now.
do not.
I don't. I think it may have been undisclosed. But
What do you call it? His
You-
musical what?
You're
Library.
You have to go to the dark web for that.
The dark web.
Dark web. It's where Alton gets all of his music.
I got this.
Hold tight, guys.
I have a special phone for that.
Caller, please hold. Caller, please hold.
I love it.
Processing.
It's not bad.
No.
No,
It's
bad.
got a very different, just a little bit different taste for
It's
me.
very distinct. I do like that aspect
does.
of it. It's like, to your point of using it for special occasions, unique bottle, unique story, the ties to Dylan,
Yep.
and everything. So
Yep.
$300 million. Fuck. That's why you sold it.
How's he going to
stopped
get
bidding
by?
at 250. It was just too steep. It was just too steep.
At his age, how is he going to survive?
yeah,
I don't know.
That's just.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's a good start, but you can't live on it.
Really.
Which begs the question, why did he sell it? Because it's not like he probably needs the money.
No, I think everyone is selling so that it's off their hands.
yeah.
Then no one's chasing down any royalties. They're like, I'll take the money for what it's worth now because I know it's worth a lot now. I don't know what it'll be worth in the future.
It's just getting more and more fragmented, right?
Yeah.
And harder to
With streaming
control.
services
Exactly.
and movie studios and everyone who wants to license that content,
Yeah.
I think everyone's like, I'll take the money now.
It's $300 million.
That too.
Well, it was
And our podcast
it
is for
was-
sale
That's
Yeah,
right.
no, exactly.
for $4 million.
That's right.
It was-
10% or less.
OBO.
But be respectful. And we're not trading for a gaming system.
Yeah, I've already got a PlayStation
No trades.
going.
And if you want us to keep it going, we're welcome to.
Universal Music bought it.
Yeah.
$300 million. Not
So-
crazy.
Licensing and content is a new currency.
Yeah.
All the kids whose programs are being cut in public schools, who are being made fun of,
Yeah.
are now cashing out in the most
Yeah.
ridiculous ways.
There you go. But yeah, we still
Love
keep
it.
putting money into sports.
Love it. That works too.
For the few, yep.
Are we all just trying to escape
Yes.
Yes.
to movies, sports, and music because we don't like what we're seeing in the day to day? We value and will pay for escapism.
Well, why is that? Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
And what are we trying to escape from?
Do things look better, sound better, make us feel better than we really are?
That's interesting. I don't know if again, first word that comes to mind for me is not escape; it's more distraction. So, like for sports, we don't watch a lot of TV shows. Every time you guys talk about a streaming show, I'm like, damn, I need to watch that one now too, and I never do. But
Yeah.
I mean, we have sports on all the time because it's a distraction. It's unpredictable.
Yep.
And I can pull for my one team or the other, and
Yep.
you say, sports is not unpredictable.
No, I don't. No, that's not what I said.
Dad thinks it's completely weird. That there's a game 7. She's like, of course, we can call that from game 1. The concessions.
So
Well,
anyway,
you know that I think
distract.
sports are all rigged. So, but
you and Deb.
Exactly.
and Carson.
Are they on the same
no,
board?
Carson's
That's the
the moon
moon.
landing.
That's the
Yeah,
moon
yeah,
landing.
Yeah.
No, I think it is a form of escapism. I think you're leveraging sports to get away from something else. It's whether
I'm
it
getting
be,
away from it. I'm just distracting myself. I'm not getting away from anything. My reality is still
think-
my reality.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not that you're
I think
like
distraction is I want to be distracted from what I'm currently in.
right or what I'm
So
supposed to be
whether
focusing
it's called
on, and I'm
escapism or
gonna
distracted. Yeah.
right. So just say it. I'm right.
no.
My glass is empty.
What can I put in
Eeny,
your
meeny,
glass,
miny,
Big
mo.
Sunshine? You know, some more Bob
I just
Dylan?
had those 3, so I'm going to try that
Okay.
against this beautiful bottle
That
I
we're
have
not
over
talking
here
about.
that we're not talking about yet.
You can do that too. No, I'm each time I take a sip of this one, I'm liking it more and more. It's got a big fat flavor to it.
Yeah.
Big
For like
your big Greek fat
113
flavor.
Big Greek fat flavor.
This
I
is
like
what I would expect to drink when I get to Heaven's Door.
Okay. That would be a good
That's
good welcome.
that
that's
would make
pretty
me
top
happy.
shelf there, Kurt.
That would make me happy.
What do
Yeah.
you mean?
That's a pretty strong call out. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not a greater endorsement, right?
It's
Drink
great
this
for-
and you die.
It's amazing for dead people. But
This bottle would go good with Angel's Envy in terms of the theme of
oh yeah,
tramp stamps. So
We're looking at Blue Run and a little iridescent
So I'm going to bring a bottle of Balfour. We'll pair it with this.
Okay.
And we'll need one more in the fancy bottle schema. So whoever has anything.
Maybe to bring in the Calumet as well.
That's pretty elegant
the
as
fancy
well.
bottles.
Yes.
The Calumet? Calumet. Thank you.
Depends on where you're from. Sorry. In the South, we say Calumet. It's all right.
It's Calumet, but it's scallops.
I'm going to call you Met today.
It's like apricots, dude.
I'm bilingual.
it's
I
all
understood both of you.
Yeah.
Alden speaks Southern and Midwestern.
I grew up in Calumet County. That's why I'm like, it's not Calumet, it's Calumet.
And it's Concord or Concord.
That's right. It's Concord in the Northeast and Concord in North Carolina.
That's what I love about this place. So much fun.
It's no wonder nobody knows the fuck where they're going. Oh.
All right.
What?
These are all good.
Who's got last call?
Kurt.
A sign. It's in the text. Do you not read your own text?
Exactly.
I was going to make a really snarky comment, but I'm going to keep it to myself because I just don't feel like doing that.
Because you rejoined the Bourbon Boys.
Exactly. That's back.
Yeah.
This is your initiation phase.
From his solo tour.
Yeah. All right. So, for that person that you've lost, if you had the chance to sit down and have one last drink with them, what would it be and why? Derek.
I'm going to go. So, I'm going to have another drink with Bruce. And I'm going to go Wiseman. I don't want to tease him. I don't want to scare him with the heaven's door. But I'm going to go Wiseman because there's a lot of stuff that I wish I learned from Bruce. And his knowledge of life, of work, of family. There's a lot more questions that I always thought you'd have more time to ask.
Yeah.
So I would honor him with considering him a wise man. That'd be my go-to.
Good.
Elton?
Good one. This one's one of those where you can go different angles with like who you're thinking
I'm giving
of.
Dave time to think because he needs that.
Yeah,
I had mine at second one.
So the question is, give me the frame up one more time.
Oh, for God's sakes. Not only do you not read my text, but you don't listen to me either when I talk.
Did you say something?
So, somebody you've lost.
At any point. That's where I was
You have the opportunity to have one last drink with them.
Okay.
What would you choose?
That's what I thought. I was like, there's no time limit. So
That's
I'm going to, I can go way deep. Back in the archives of Grandpa, I'm going to ask you to think of like my Uncle Don, who passed last October, kind of more recent, my dad's brother. And I would probably go with Heaven's Door. Very religious guy, very faith-based, and use that as a kind of launch pad to be like, looking back on your life, what were the lessons you learned that impacted you most, and your parting shot on that. So I'd use Heaven's Door as that. It's also kind of fun. I don't think he was much of a drinker, so this would get a good, get him coughing.
Get him coughing.
Yeah, exactly. So Uncle Don and Heaven's Door.
Excellent.
It's good.
Kratt?
Yeah, Kurt, like I said, I knew exactly which one I was going to go with. My Uncle Jim passed 3 weeks ago. And he was our family historian, family lawyer. He was the source of all knowledge in our family. And just a super, super, super genuine human that put family and legacy and understanding where we came from before anything else. And it was really cool being at a funeral of an 87-year-old, and the place was packed.
Wow.
And he had a couple of people get up. One was a judge, and just talked about how his customers, right, everything he did was to make their lives better. Whether it was, through estate planning or, just real estate or just crazy personal things that they needed legal help with. So would definitely go with Wiseman. I mean, the label, the bottle, everything just screams Uncle Jim.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So that's definitely where I would go. And he would, in his early days, he would have just sat outside with me outside of our grandparents' house until that bottle was dry.
There you go.
So we couldn't drink it inside because, they were Baptist, and that was not a good thing. So,
We got
Outside
rules.
fair game.
yeah.
We got rules.
So.
That's awesome.
Kurtron.
I know. This one's hard for me, to be honest with you.
You did have a little extra time to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to stall.
He asked you to repeat it so you could actually hear it again.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah. Can you ask your question again? Sorry, what was that?
Could you reframe that?
No, I'm just thinking about all the people that I've lost, right? And it's like not making a single decision, which is really hard. But I guess I'll go with the most recent, which was my godmother, who I lost a week ago. Just an interesting story because my aunt, who really was my Aunt Florence, so follow me here. My dad's sister got married. I don't know the gentleman's name because it was far, far before I came into the world, but got married, had a child named Patty, my cousin Patty. He passed due to unfortunate circumstances. My Aunt Florence remarried to my Uncle Jim, who was my godfather. Shortly thereafter, they had a child, Steve, and then my Aunt Florence passed. And my Uncle Jim remarried to my Aunt Grace, who became my godmother, and they had 5 more children.
Do we have a whiteboard?
I know, it's a hard story to find.
I'm going to need it.
It's a hard story to follow.
Grace and godmother.
Grace
Very
is the
good,
godmother.
thank you.
Yes.
All right.
So
I'm tracking.
So my Aunt Grace and my Uncle Jim, neither of which are blood relative.
Okay.
And my cousin Patty and my cousin Steve, both are blood related. But then my Aunt Grace and Uncle Jim had 5 more children who are not blood related, but were still considered cousins.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Grace, my Uncle Jim passed some time ago. My Aunt Grace was a super strong woman. She wanted to play sports in high school, but they didn't have women's sports. And she was a huge sports advocate all through till her day, till she passed. But she was also extremely faith-based. So I would go with Heaven's Door. One, because I think she would sit by my side and have a bourbon. But I think she was ready as well.
Yeah.
It's tough because, like, the wise man is really confusing. Like, I would put wise woman.
She'd cross it out. Yeah. She'd be like,
Because that's what she would do, right?
Yeah.
She'd
Yeah.
say, like,
She's
wow,
like-
why is it wise woman or wise man, right? It should be, like,
Just give her a Sharpie.
exactly. But anyway, I would have a drink with my Aunt Grace because I thought she was a pretty amazing person. And, I haven't seen her in a long time, but I have very vivid memories of her, and her family's great, and they all like to have a good time. And she was really all about driving her kids and her grandkids to do things that they weren't necessarily, I don't want to say able to do, but like I said, nothing is ever impossible.
Pushing,
cool.
encouraging.
So-
That's awesome.
So I would say Heaven's Door.
Very
Love that.
cool.
Aunt Grace.
Love it.
all right.
Yeah.
I'd raise a glass to
I was just saying.
Uncle
right.
Jim, Bruce,
Don,
Aunt Grace,
yeah.
Uncle Don.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's the ones that
Here we
go.
go.
Bourbon on.
You're here.
So where do we go from here, Drew? This was a heavy one.
This is a good one. This is a good one.
I got an idea. Let's do a music themed next one.
A musical.
Okay.
Once we run,
You know what?
We'll run it back.
You just got yourself an assignment.
I don't need an assignment.
Yeah, you do, because we're not doing the
All right.
same 3 bourbons.
That's going to be a tough one.
Well, you'll figure it out.
This is good. All right, gents. Another strong episode. Too long in between.
Yep.
but
Too long.
Good recovery. We picked up like it was just a couple months ago. We tasted some really good bourbon.
Which it was.
Across the board,
It
really.
really was.
Like, for,
Golly.
it
It's a tough pick out of those 3.
really is.
It is. They're all winners.
Yep. Open with Wiseman. Strong start. Really
Yep.
good taste. Kentucky Owl Jr. Got a new Blue Note brand here, Crossroads. Really good flavor.
Yeah.
And then rounded off with the 112.8 Heaven's Door. And then snuck in a Blue Run to start. And I think,
We'll
I
talk
think,
about, we can talk about that one later.
yeah, I think Kratt closed it with Blue Run too. So
Well, I just did my own personal
It's
drink
like
there.
Yeah.
Thursday night. you know.
bookended.
He's starting his own podcast.
Yep. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. Another great night. Always great to be together.
Awesome.
To the ones who've gone past.
The
Yeah.
ones that passed.
Passed.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on.